Okay, and we are live on my phone. It does say poor connection because, yeah, I'm not really at the optimal location where my internet is. So, okay. So we're now on live, and pretty much this is just the first tryout. Not sure, is the sound okay because I'm using the Rode clip mic right now and using my Samsung Galaxy S5. This mic actually is connected to my computer. So this is the Rode NT USB, which is quite nice. Okay, so the audio sounds good. I'm using the Rode Smart Lav directly into my phone. So any questions, guys? So this is a Q&A, and yeah, pretty much trying out YouTube Live on my phone for the first time. And actually I need to remember watching the correct angle of my phone. So Avid, Final Cut or Premiere? Pretty much Premiere. Avid, I haven't that many experience with it. Premiere Pro, I got the most experience. And Final Cut, I don't really like the interface that much. Yeah, you can also ask questions in Dutch if you want. So, voiceovers like cartoon. Yeah, okay. This one stop by. Okay. Whoa, the text coming by really fast. Actually, what is the easiest way to look at questions? Presets not working the way it's supposed to. Okay, so if your smooth zoom or smooth transition isn't working correctly, make sure nest your video, because most of the time it's just if you have like a 50 or 60 FPS video on like a 24 or 25 timeline, they kind of bump into each other. So you need to nest your video before you are going to apply your presets. So most of the time, if you're using a video clip that is different than your timeline, you need to nest it first before applying a preset. Yeah. Actually, I find the title capabilities on Premiere Pro really good, because Final Cut you need to go into motion to pretty much get all the functions for animating the text, while in Premiere Pro you can now pretty much do everything inside of Premiere Pro. Yeah, the rendering error is mostly, or the rendering error with like certain effects, or actually it's not really dependable on the effects, is pretty much issue with certain computers. You need to make sure you have like a good scratch disk so it can render easier, and also right now CUDA and Metal isn't working that well on Premiere Pro, so you need to use OpenCL. And yeah, pretty much if that doesn't work, you need to restart your computer, and actually then it should most of the time work, because it clears the cache so you can work better. Skill or gear? Pretty much skill, because I can have like tons of cameras right now. Here is the GH5, and got a lot of cameras here. And even with this small camera, the RX100 Mark III in Istanbul, I made really good videos. So it's all about skill, knowing how you can get the maximum out of the cameras. And gear is something that is extra or just makes life easier, but if you know how to use even a small pocket camera to the max, you can get really nice video out of it. My favorite lens right now, I think the Sigma 18-35 is pretty much up there, but it is quite a heavy lens. And right now actually the 12mm f2 from Olympus is a really nice lens that I use quite a lot, especially getting like cinematic sequences, and also because it's so lightweight and it is a fast lens. Okay, there's actually a lot of things going. Okay, a lot of text going. Lumix or Sony? Okay, so I have, let me grab the other camera. So I have here the A6300 and I have here the GH5. Personally, yeah, there are mixed, like this is nice for low light, this is okay in low light but not as great as the Sony. The A6300, I do like taking photos with it because with a speed booster I can actually use like Canon lenses on it, and with this, with Metabones, it doesn't get proper autofocus. I need to buy a lot of the native lenses for it, and I have to say, yeah, depth of field wise, this with a speed booster becomes a full frame look and just looks nicer with photos. For video wise, the Panasonic is just much nicer. It's got a flip out screen, it got pretty much anything for a filmmaker wants. You don't even need to get this one. I'd suggest if you don't have that much money, get the G7 or the G80 or G85, and those are much nicer. Okay, thank you. Thank you for yeah, I can't really. What do you think, John Olsen's vlog? I don't really watch that many people's vlogs, so. Well, the text is coming by really fast. I don't know how to make it easier to watch the text. Favorite lens on Panasonic? Yeah, on Panasonic, basically the Olympus 12mm f2. Okay. There's a Mini 4K or A7 II. I don't think A7 II should be an option for filmmaking. Ursa Mini, it is nice, but it's a bit on the huge side, and it's mostly for yeah, if you're doing commercial job, that is really nice. A7S2 or A7R2 are really nice, and they are, yeah, pretty much quite the standard in Holland. Everybody is using the Sonys. JVC LS300, yeah, LS300 is pretty much the most underrated camera there is. It's really nice for the price. It got everything. You can put a speed booster, get like a full frame field of view, and it's just a camera that is got all the features. The only thing is the ergonomics of it is a little bit wonky compared to the other cameras, which are more compactor or more nicer designed. Okay, shout out naar alle Nederlandse fans. Okay, do you think best budget camera for videography? The best budget, okay, actually close this here. The best budget, if you don't need 4K, here I have the Panasonic G6, which is really nice. I used this for quite a long time before I upgraded to the G7. And pretty much I still use it as like a C camera if I just need 1080 50p for slow-mo shots. So this is really nice, and you can pick this up for really ridiculous low prices. So you can find it for around 150 to 200 bucks. You can find one. So this, if you don't need 4K yet, this is a really nice camera. And pretty much the difference with the G7 is that you have 4K on here and Cinelike V, but if you are doing quite a lot of straight out of the camera, I find the standard picture style -5 contrast, it looks really nice for straight out of the camera. How is actually the image quality here right now? Okay, I'm looking forward for the C200, because if it's 4K, it'd be really nice finally, like a budget 4K. And if it's around 6,000, 7,000, it's more at an okay price. But I'm actually looking forward to the new Panasonic, the mystery camera, which also be competing in the same segment. But the thing is, with Panasonic we can expect 4K 60p. With the C200, I doubt it be 4K 60p and mostly 4K 30p. So yeah, JVC LS300 for short films. Yeah, it got the J-Log, so it got like a nice dynamic range. It got 4K 60p now, so it's really nice and competing with a lot of the other cinema cameras. Okay, it's low res. Yeah, I think so, because I'm getting like warning of poor connection every few, like 10 seconds. Planned by a mirrorless. Okay, if you are getting a mirrorless camera, and if you are a low budget, either G6, because this has a proper flip out screen. Also, if you are doing vlogging, it's nice. However, the autofocus isn't that great, but you should set it to AFS, and then it actually focuses pretty well, and just set it to one area in the middle of the screen, which actually is a setting for the GH5, G7, all focus better for vlogging on that. And yeah, if you don't need 4K yet, G6. If you need 4K, the G7. Drone do you use? I actually have a Mavic Pro, but I haven't flown with it yet. And yeah, pretty much the drone situation in Holland is a little bit annoying, because my city is close to an airport, so I need to get way out of the city before I can fly. Okay, thoughts on the 1260. The 1260, it is nice of a lens, but the thing is 2.8 to f4, it's a little bit of an annoying range. Either if it was f2.8 continuously, or then it would be nice, even though you can set it to f4, and if you zoom in and out, I've already tested it, it will keep the brightness at the same level. But yeah, personally, I would rather get like faster lenses, especially for Micro Four Thirds. Okay, new A7S or A6500. It's dependable if you really need 4K. Personally, if you totally do not need 4K, just go for A7S. Because if you do a lot of clubbing or a lot of events at night, A7S will save you a lot of trouble with noise. A6500, if you are doing cinematic sequences handheld, it'd be easier, because you have the built-in IBIS, and you can easily like just do that smooth moving shot, like like if you have like a slider, just do it by hand. With the IBIS, just makes it easier. Your views on new title. The new titler, and the only nice thing about the new Premiere Pro titler is that you can type and keyframe words, so you can have it like typing out like text. But overall, the rest, I don't really like it that much, because there's missing a lot of things to make it more precise. So the anchor, you need to recalculate by yourself to make the anchor be in the middle, and a lot of things are a little bit annoying, because if you don't anchor it well, if you do the changing the keyframes of the text, it kind of will move around weirdly if you have like the text centered. Do you need stabilizer if you have an IBIS? So if you have an IBIS to do faking slider shots just for a small bit and just moving around, it's easier to do it by hand. However, if you are walking, IBIS is not going to clean out the shocks from a walking shots, because that will still be in there, and unless you are doing a really good ninja walk, then you can kind of get away with it with a really ultra wide lens. The IBIS on the A6500, I haven't tested it, but I've seen like certain people have like issue of it trembling, but I'm not sure if it was the issue of using combined with a stabilizer that it would tremble, because it's trying to stabilize while it's already stabilized. 4K for 3,000 euros. Okay, so if you want 4K for 3,000, there are different. I really like the the GH5 because it just have everything in it. However, if you want something, because there's so many right now, but I think you should wait a little bit more because I'm not quite sure if anything is going to change over the couple of months, because right now everybody's competing with a lot of crazy things. So of course I think Sony should be releasing something because everything is looking forward to a new A7 or at least a new mirrorless video camera. So I think right now, either if you already got like a lot of Micro Four Thirds stuff, GH5, the LS300 is also nice. All the other Sony cameras, I kind of dislike Sony right now because the color space is really annoying sometimes to grade, and also the battery life is really annoying. Glidecam or Ronin. The thing is, between a gimbal and a stabilizer, there's two major factors, but I find gimbals is easier, especially in Holland with a lot of wind, because with a stabilizer, it either needs to be a really heavy stabilizer that I need to wear a vest, then the wind is not a problem. But if I'm using any light cameras with a glide cam, I have a lot of wind coming at it, and it just will blown out of like get blown away. Best starter camera right now, get the G6, Panasonic G6. This is really nice, has better ISO values than most of the Canon Rebels. So Canon Rebel from the 550D, 600D, 650, 700 is all the same. No, not sure if the 700, I don't think the 700 was the same sensor, but any other before that, you could actually maximum go ISO 800. With this, I could easily go ISO 1600 and still get usable. ISO 3200 is a bit smudgy with the G6, but it's still usable. It's not noisy. While with the 550D, everything above 800 is very noisy. Ik kan ook gewoon Nederlands praten, ja. Okay, A6500 and A6300. I have to say, the IBIS is something, that's just going to make everything easier, especially with wide angle, doing cinematic sequences, doing like nice, simple around a camera shot, or faking a slider shot. However, a lot of the lenses of Sony are, especially with the APS-C, have built-in stabilizing. So this 35mm f1.8 is also stabilized, so I can get a pretty nice, decent shot handheld with it. Okay, now the texts are gone. Okay. I don't think you can do much with that lens. It's a kit, the Nikon 1855. It's broken. It's also really cheap to replace because it's just a kit lens that is very available. Think of the 80D good camera. I think that's better. Okay, the 80D, you can better just get the 800D if you're getting the dual focus, because everything for video is pretty much the same, and only the photo capabilities between the 800 and the 80D is different. Thoughts on the 550D? Okay, I will be coming with a video for if you should still buy the 550D in 2017. However, the conclusion is I wouldn't get it, because for the same price you can get a G6, or a little bit more you can get a G6 with better videos capability and also flip out screen and a lot of really nice things already built into it. For photography, on the other side, the 550D I can get really awesome photos from, because I've shot a lot of great portraits and also like a motorcycle photo shoot with it. Yeah, actually there's a question about taking videos at 60p. Yeah, personally I think it's better just film at higher frame rates, and pretty much a lot of people don't see if you just change it without making it slow-mo. And pretty much a lot of my videos are shot on 50p, and I just render out a 25p and nobody will say, oh, you did that. And yeah, pretty much, yeah, I rather shoot higher frame rate, especially that's why I got the GH5 to shoot 4K 50p and just slow it down in post. The 1300D, I don't think that is a good budget camera. Literally get a second-hand G6 and you get better performance out of it. So good, which shoot 4K under 1000. So under 1000 you can get the Panasonic G7 or get the G80. I personally advise get the G80 because the G7 doesn't have that IBIS, and I really like having IBIS on the camera itself, so I can do like cinematic sequences just moving the camera slightly, or just handheld doing slider shots, because I got like a lot of short sliders, and I find it's just easier just to do it handheld instead of having to bring out a tripod, set a slider up and just do it handheld. It's easier, and it's also just, you only have to move a little bit and just learn to move with your hip to do the slider shots. A lot of repeating questions. Okay, 50 FPS enough? 50 FPS is enough because you can just slow down 50%. 60 FPS of course is a bit more, but personally I use 50 FPS because it's because of the lighting thing. Because here in Europe you have like 50 Hertz, and if I'm in America I could use 60 Hertz. GX80, I want a Metabone speed booster. It's so pricey. I think you should invest in Metabones or better lighting. Pretty much with Metabones, yeah, it's only because there is a connection between the camera and the lens, so it can detect the lens focal distance and actually work the IBIS better. Because if I'm putting a dump adapter on the GH5, it's going to mess up the IBIS, so I have to turn off the IBIS if I want to use a lens that is with a dump adapter, or I have to manually set which focal length it is. But personally, I think if you just, if you're using prime lenses and or have like a lot of native lenses, it's better to get like lighting. Right now I'm actually using a light here, so I want to not really show you because I have to show you the rest of the room. But I'm using a softbox here with an light inside, and it's pretty big softbox. It's 70 by 90 centimeters. 750D, possible to smooth zoom with the the digital zoom, you have only like jumps, so you don't have like a smooth zoom that certain cameras can do. So with Sony you can do a smooth zoom, but with the Panasonics it's just directly a teleconverter, or 2 times or 4 times. so you don't have like a smooth zoom in it. Ja, ik ben Nederland. Yeah, I find the IBIS works really well, especially handhelds and doing small movements, especially doing like faking a slider shots. How old am I? I am 31, and end or begin of next month, June 3rd, I'll be 32, which is getting quite old, and I'll be celebrating it in LA. So any guys going to Cinegear Pro, we can yeah, go out somewhere and celebrate it. And yeah, pretty much Cinegear Pro Expo in LA, I'll be able to see the new Panasonic. So pretty much actually only going there just to see the new camera, to see if it's a nice camera I should get. So why my channel all about tutorials? Pretty much a lot of photography, video and editing tutorials. I want to share my knowledge because I'm rolled into this world instead of that I'm actually went to film school. I'm also rolled into filmmaking. So pretty much a lot of things I also yeah, find out myself. So instead of somebody telling me how I do this and that, especially the faking the drone shots with the light stand was my own idea, and a lot of things I just come up with ideas and I want to share it as a tutorial. Okay, 35 or 50 millimeter on a Nikon. Depends on your camera. So 35 millimeter on APS-C is really nice. However, on full frame, I rather, actually on full frame I also rather have the 35. But on APS-C, actually the 50 millimeter get you like an 85. It's a bit nicer than the 35. But on Sony it's different because this 35 1.8 has more shallower depth of field than the 50 for some reason. '70 Mark II. I'm pretty much all the Canon DSLRs. I just don't like them for filmmaking because the technology on them are lacking. The only nice thing is the dual autofocus and not anything else. So yeah, pretty much the Canon DSLRs also are weird because like the 5D Mark IV and the 1D DX Mark II has way too high bitrate, and kind of is annoying to do anything with it unless you have like really big storage to store all those with. And especially if I'm going to film a vlog, it's not that useful. Thank you, Jarain. And if I upgrade GH5 from the GX80, it depends on if you really need all the capabilities. So upgrading from the GX80 to the GH5, personally, I have to say I didn't need it to upgrade to the G85. I'm actually thinking of yeah, setting the G7 and getting the G80 or G85 because I think that is already enough. Because right now I like using the GH5 to do the cinematic sequences. That's why the 25mm f1.8 is on here. And to film myself talking to the camera, I'll use the G7 with the 14.7mm. And I actually want to turn that around because the G7 doesn't have IBIS. It's harder to do the cinematic sequence shots, faking the slider shots, and because it doesn't have IBIS in it, and this does. So I need to get or sell this one and upgrade. Okay. Film comfort tutorial. Yeah, there will be one coming. I still need to figure out how everything works. But right now also kind of waiting for them to upgrade a few things. They have a slight issue with the 10 bits of GH5, however they'll be coming with an upgrade for it, so then I can get like proper review of that program, and also yeah, showing a tutorial how to use it to grade the 10 bits. And yeah, haven't done much with the V-Log on this camera yet. Where do I get the ideas for motion graphic? Pretty much, yeah, I look at a lot of animations. I like looking at anime. Anime is really, actually a lot of camera movements. I really love looking at anime for the camera angles, because they do things differently than looking at other films. Other films keep it safe, but anime sometimes get like really crazy angles, and I try to animate those. Which lens do I use for GH5? So right now, the lenses that I have for Micro Four Thirds are actually, I have the Sigma 1835. I still need to get a Metabones. Right now I'm using a dumb adapter. Got the 25 1.8, the 7 to 14 f4, and somewhere is there 12mm f2. So right now I like vlogging with the 714 because it's really nice and wide. However, at night it's not that great, and then I switch to the 12 to f2, and then I get better results, and especially get for the 12 to f2 I can actually get like nice cinematic sequences with. And yeah, smooth Q. Actually, I do have a video with the smooth Q. However, I figured out my version isn't, or actually my phone isn't that great with that. I need to borrow somebody's iPhone, and actually, I borrowed my smooth Q out to a friend of mine. He went to a honeymoon with the smooth Q, and he got them better images of it. So I need to actually still grab those footages of him, and then can make a review, a better review, because the S5 is somehow getting like really odd shakes while filming. Okay, so the 31.4 or the 1835. I like the 1835. Actually, something weird about this lens, you can actually use this on a full frame. So this from 24 to 35 is usable on the full frame. So it's kind of an interesting lens to have. While the 30mm you're stuck kind of. And yeah, overall the autofocus I do have adapters for the A6300 to use this with autofocus, but I don't think in video mode you get that nice of autofocus, so the Sigma should get better autofocus. The best 4K 50p, there's only this one. So the best 4K 50p mirrorless camera right now is only the GH5. V-Log versus S-Log. I haven't tested V-Log, even though I have installed it. I haven't really done much testing. Okay, there are people coming home, so I'll probably stop this vlog or this live video now. So hope you guys like this video, and please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you the next time. Bye bye.